Alright, everyone, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, playing as the German Empire as we are on our way to finishing off the USSR. So let's actually go ahead. Okay, so we got that queued up, ready to go. Let's go ahead and start figuring out where's this other fleet going? Where are they? Where are you? Okay, you're here. And that's right, the heavy cruisers are currently here, getting resupplied and repaired. Okay, cool. And then we got steam turbines coming online in 11 months. Very nice. Around the same time, we'll probably get our next series of Dreadnoughts started in development, which is awesome. Alright, so real quick. We are definitely over our totals here, so we need to actually get that. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna run a turn. We're just gonna eat that turn. So let's eat that. It'll be fine. And then boom, 122,000 out of 193. So very nice. Alright, so 3 turns we'll take North Sakhalin, and then we'll move on to Southern Siberia, and then we'll be able to take Kamchatka as our last goal, which as soon as these ships are done repairing, they'll be sent over there to attack that. So very, very nice. Actually, ammunition-wise, they're looking pretty good. Rhineland is Rhineland is still only at 56%. So, actually, let's go ahead and send them over now, so we can have them in position to start that immediately. And then again, I would really love the army to actually get out into the field. Like, they would really be useful here. Alright, so we got 2 months on the first 3 of the Kaiser 2s, and then we'll start construction on the next 3 of the Kaiser 2s, and then at that point in time we're looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get the Adrane class for that first set restarted as well. Let's actually take a look real quick. What is our power rating? 34%. With the Kaiser 2s, we're going to shoot up a lot, because as we can see, we're right behind the Americans, and they only have 8 battleships. The British have 22 battleships. We'll be in between there, so we'll get a nice little boost to our overall rating, and hopefully we'll see the army actually acting appropriately, which are fucking army logistics. 93%. Like, it's... Actually, is there a... See, I wish we could get some data, like just some information in regards to what's going on. That'd be excellent, you know, for reasons, you know, obviously. But it is what it is. So I hope you guys are enjoying your week so far, and, you know, we're coming to the end of the week now. I do want to let you guys know we will be streaming tonight and tomorrow night as well, so make sure that you stop in, say hello. We'll have a good time. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these boys over here. Let's get this invasion started as well. Kamchatka. And then from there, we don't have anything else to fucking worry about when it comes to the Russians. And I think honestly speaking, we are good to go. There's not much else for us to do. Like this is a cleanup operation. This is nothing more than us just cleaning up their fucking problems. All right. Well, there we go. Send these bad boys up here. Ah, damn it. We're quite in range. That's weird. Why did... Okay, that makes no sense. The port's here. Why is the capture point up here? That makes no fucking sense. Okay, whatever. Whatever, game. Let's check our relations real quick. 32 with the Americans, so we're definitely going to... We're going to have to plan this out. Let's see. Okay, so Serbia, the Netherlands, Korean Empire. So their allies haven't changed. So we have the fleet here in... oh my god, China... fucking Korea's on a warpath. They're like, oh no, we're going to take more of China. So with the... So we have the fleet here. We can take out the Koreans. The Americans have... West Philippines. What about anything over here? I'm not seeing anything under American control. So our fleet in the Pacific will focus Korea and then Alaska. Then we'll have the fleet here, which will take the Netherlands. And then we'll be moving one of the groups from here down to the Black Sea anyways. They will handle down here, which looks like Palestina and northern Egypt are the only ones that we have to worry about there. We got Liberia, Morocco, the rest of Spain, and then that forces the Americans back into the Western Hemisphere. Okay, cool. So that forces them into the Western Hemisphere completely, and then, you know, we'll focus taking Southern America first and work our way up into the Caribbean and then eventually to North America itself. And Canada is invading Alaska. Oh my fucking god. And what the shit? Who are you fighting that has Canada as an ally? Canada's not allied with anybody. Oh my god, this is... It's the conquest. It's the conquest. The Canadians are going to take northern Alaska. They're going to take northern Alaska from the Americans. And the Americans do not have any fleets taking northern Canada. That's funny. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's brilliant. That's just brilliant. Oh, hey, they'll be weaker for... You know, marginally weaker, but they'll be weaker. And then we can start the naval invasion of Magadan. And then we'll be... No, I'm not allying you, Britain. Fuck off. You don't deserve a partnership with the German Empire. You took rightful German clay. That German clay being North Honcho. And you've denied me many things, like fucking Croatia, and then you've, you know, just, you know, you hold Papua, and you know, you took Sumatra, and you know, I like, you have a bunch of territories that I wanted to take, like, oh, hey, look at that. Cooking China is under the control of the Americans. Oh, I guess the Pacific Fleet can also take that. Speaking of fleets, let's actually let's get our fleet moving towards. So it's gonna be Novosibirsk. go ahead and get these guys on the move. Get them pre-positioned so that they're ready to commence operations when I deem it so. So that puts 3 of each of the Kaiser 1s in our 3 main theaters, the Mediterranean, the North Sea, and the Pacific. And then, of course, we'll have the Kaiser 2s here in the Baltic as our ready reserve. Let's go ahead and get these guys queued up as well before I forget. And then, research-wise, let's actually take a look at what we got going on here. So 8 months, we will have Dreadnought 3s unlocked. So great potential that we'll be able to actually have a new version, but it's probably going to be, you know, more of the same. So we're going to have the Kaiser 3s. I don't remember what the Dreadnought 3 for the Germans looks like. It's been a while since I played them, so I just don't know off the top of my head. And I started that up. Okay, cool. So 1907 will be the year that the Soviet Union falls. Seems like a good year for it. We have them on the ropes. Why would we sign a peace deal now? No, we're just gonna take it over. It's gonna be all ours. Forever German clay. Which I would love to, you know, have the army actually start taking over some of these other territories that are going to be available to take. But, you know, that relies on the army actually doing its job. So yeah, we'll have some very nice things going on. We're going to have to get a refit program up and running for the Kaiser 1s to bring them up to date. Actually, let me look at gun technologies. Yeah, we're the Mark III 5-inch guns are going to be a bare minimum to justify refitting. So it's 5-inch that I got on this, right? Yeah. So bare minimum, we're going to need the Mark III 5.5s before we can do a refit on these. Bare minimum. Which is fine. Yeah, they're just not able to put anything up against us. This is we call this an ass whooping. We call this an ass whooping. Oh man, poor bastards. They never had a chance. Speaking of which, actually, now that I think about it, let's go ahead and also start building the Lutzow, our new update. Let's call it an update because it really is just an update of the Bavaria's design. Nothing really much more. So it's still going to be a competent ship. Like the Bavaria has proven itself. The Lutzow, I suspect, will be much the same. So let's go ahead and start building the first 5 of the class. These bad boys are going to be located in the Black Sea. So let's go ahead and put them in Putty. However, we're not going to be able to build all of them at the same time. So we'll put 5 in the Black Sea. We'll put 5 in the North Sea. And then they will just operate as a heavier light contingent to the battle, or to the Dreadnoughts. Alright, that's another province under rightful German control. Mark III 2-inch guns. Alright, and then these guys, you know what? They can just camp out here. They can secure the Sea of Onsk. I'm like, I almost said Oshkosh. The Sea of Onsk, they can secure that. And then the Bavarias, you know, being down in Yokosuka, will secure Northeast Asia. So we'll go like that. So 2 more turns. Let's go. Actually raises the question, not ship design research. Where are we at in cruisers? 9,000 ton light cruiser. And we just unlocked 13,000 ton heavy cruiser. So destroyer wise, we're about to max out the, what were they called? Heavy torpedo boat, large torpedo boat. We're about to max out the large torpedo boat, which then we also get destroyer 1 as our next hull. So I might want to consider doing that as well. 1, 2, 3. Let's actually come down here real quick. So we need to make sure we get mine layers in these. Resume, thank you. Alright, we do have a mine layer there. Actually, after we take this, I think that'll be the end of the mine layer 1s. Because we're gonna take some time to do refits and whatnot. And I do apologize if anybody's kind of annoyed by, you know, the fact I'm auto-resolving as much as I am and I'm not playing out these small battles. But at the end of the day, like, the battle is almost pointless because there's no way I'm catching the other ships. It's better that I just auto-resolve, guarantee the win, get the victory points, and so on and so forth. So I do apologize in that sense. And thus the last Russian port meets its final demise. Let's go ahead and send the Bavarias down to Yokosuka so they can do their thing. And then let's go ahead, select port, Petropavlovsk, defend. Let's go ahead and scrap these. And then we're going to just turn everybody to defend. Because since we're sitting, you know, as soon as we end this turn, the, okay, so we're at trained. Let's go ahead and bump this back down to here. All right, so as soon as we end this turn, war's going to end. So we want everybody to be using as little money as possible. Refuse their rhetoric. And the Soviet Union has dissolved. Very nice. That is a ridiculous map. Alright, so we are going to scale back crew training to 50%. We're also going to scale back tech to 65% by the looks of it. That guarantees we're still bringing money in. We'll scale tech back up to 75% after we're done rebuilding our merchant marine. So, and then all of these bad boys can go on limited. Boom. There we go. And then, you know, of course, those guys. All right, they've made their way over here. Very nice. Let's look at the fleet. So we got 1 month until the first set of the Adranes are finished, and then we'll have the second set. And of course, we've got our 5 heavy cruisers, which I believe we might have the room to do them. No, not really. So we'll leave it as such right now. So, all right. What's our research at real quick? 2 months, 1 month. Very nice. And again, until we get Mark III 5-inch guns, there's no point in doing a refit. Our ships can't really get much better without the improved guns, and I'd rather do a refit program to... Oh, wow. Oh my god. Poor Spain. They're going to be down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 provinces. That's it. 7. That's it. Oh, Jesus Christ, you poor bastards. Alright, so let's look at the diplomatic situation. I'd love to finish the Spanish off. Honestly speaking, that'd be a really quick, easy war. Boom, 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 boom. Just knock out all this stuff down here in Asia. It'd be an easy war. Do I have... Yeah, I have the prestige to burn, so... we're going to go ahead and we're going to kick the Spanish in the teeth. You know, kick them while they're down. Take all this for ourselves. And then if we can, we'll scoop up the rest of these little provinces. And then go from there. The Italians, the Chinese... Yeah, honestly speaking, we could finish the Chinese off by taking this. So we could kill the Chinese as well. So let's clean up over here and focus that, because the Americans, like, it's gonna be a little harder of a fight, and it gives us time to do our stuff. So we have Krupp 2 again. I don't want to do a full refit of our ships until after we get this. So let's go ahead, intern. And Korea is just frickin' just having a field day. If Korea was to take Northeast China, that would actually be to our benefit. Funny enough. Oh, the Americans managed to salvage it. The Americans now control northern Canada. Holy crap. Impressive. Nice save. Well, Canada, you're not too long for this world, apparently. God, the entire North America, or the entire American fucking hemisphere is just fucking painted blue. Damn. Oh, and they must have ended their war with Spain. Actually, let's look at that real quick. Yeah, they ended their war in Spain. So Spain's still at war with the Italians, but the Italians are in a much better position anyways. So, okay. Let's make sure the fleet is fully demobilized. I do not want anybody out of port right now. And then... okay, so we're doing that. Can we jack this back up to 65%? Yes, we can. Problem, though, I think that's taking into consideration the Adranes are done building. which is fine because fuck it, I have the money to burn. Yeah, the Adrones are done. So, and I have the cash. Like, it doesn't matter. So that's fine with me. All right. And we also have our new hulls. So let's hop over to the shipyard and let's design us a new battleship and a new a new battleship and a new fucking destroyer. Ah, yes. All right. So this will be a departure from our designs for two reasons. One, I want to see what we can potentially do with this thing. Oh, we gotta... Okay, boom, there we go. Alright, so this is definitely going to be... Oh, we have triple barrel. Oh my god, we have triple barrel. Holy crap, we have triple barrel. And we could get stupid with it. Oh, brother. We could get absolutely retarded with this. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. I'm not going to do that, even though it'd be so freaking tempting. Now, the reason why we're not going to do that is because now that we have triple barrels, this actually presents us with a very, very fun potential. So we can make a really, really nice yeah, let's go like that. That should give us enough room to... So we should be able to do something like this, and then boom. Alright. So it gives us the ability to do a nice 4 battery. Oh man, that just looks good. That's a nice profile. I like that. Gives us a nice little profile there. I like it. I like it a lot. Secondary guns, looks like those are not going to be a thing. Let's go ahead and throw in our 5.5s. Let's throw on our 3.9s. We can throw some torpedoes on there. I do like having some torpedoes on my battleships when I can have more than just, you know, one. Okay, so now we're going to, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go 22 knots. So the Kaiser 1s, the Kaiser 2s, they're going to be a 20 knot Dreadnoughts. The, what do we name this? What do we name these? Let's sit on the name for a second while we tech this thing out. So steam turbines, hyperly efficient, can still give good range. The key difference is that, you know, they are very light compared to the other options. So I want to tech her out pretty freaking solidly. And I want to see what I can do. Oh, and somebody, I think somebody was asking, you know, okay, so, you know, max AG, standard. Why do I leave this stuff as default? So, most targets that you're fighting are going to be susceptible to high explosive. Because you're mainly going to be fighting cruisers, you're going to mainly be fighting destroyers, etc., etc. So, having more HE available tends to be better. Now, will I go, like, increased HE and have some more AP available? Yes, I will do that. But at the stage of the game I'm in, max HE makes sense. Same thing with secondary shells. Honestly speaking, I never go off of max HE for secondaries. Standard shell, increased shell, in my opinion, is too much of a risk overall, personally. And then reduced, the only time, in my opinion, that reduced makes sense is when you're creating a fireboat, and those are usually specially designed to deal with special ships that you're dealing with. Now, when it comes to light versus heavy shells have their place, but in my opinion, you only use heavy shells on 15-inch or higher caliber, in my opinion. Light shells have their place if you're creating like a cruiser hunter, battle cruiser kind of deal. That's when light shells really shine. Standard shell, they just work for what I need. So that's why I tend to leave it like that. All right, and then you also might be curious, like, okay, why am I not using stereoscopic? Why am I only using coincidence? Like this is 1.3 or 1.4. Reason is that coincidence is just, in general, in my opinion, it's just better. Stereoscopic is, it's great if you're fighting at long range, but that's the only time it's good. You only get the benefit out of long range gunnery. 90% of the time, your battles are going to get they're going to get knife fighty. So that, gun base accuracy, in my opinion, matters more. Alright, so let's go ahead and, real quick, so the Kaiser 2, armor-wise, what was it again? Come on. Thank you. 14, 8, 3, 2.5, okay. And 16, 16, okay. So let's see if we can do that. Now, if I can't do it, then it's not the end of the world. Because, again, this is more of a fighter. So let's go 14, 8, 8, 3, 2.5, 2.5, 3, 8, 3, 8, 16, 16, 4, 4, 4, 3, Alright, and then these are by 44 caliber. Let's put them up to 45 caliber. And let's just max these bad boys out. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we are looking at being over 3,000, more, almost just over 3,500 tons more. Okay, so how do we fix this? So the triple batteries are nice, but I think we might need to get rid of the triple batteries. I would love to have triple batteries, but I think we can't really get away with them on this. So let's see what we can do if we shave the batteries off. Yeah, okay, so the majority of the weight was there in the batteries. Okay, so we can almost get, if we go down to 21 knots, if we go down to 20 knots. Alright, so 21 knots. Maybe, just maybe, we can finagle that range a little bit. I want to see if I can play around with this a little bit. Alright, so we can get 22 knots out of it. Still have 10,000 kilometer range. Alright, so anti-torp 1, anti-flood 1. I still want barbette 2 and double bottom. That's a bare minimum for me. So what if we take it down to 12-inch main belt? Alright, so we need to shave off 348 tons. You know what? Let's try this. Okay. So reduce the overall thickness of the armor a little bit, but the armor quality is higher than what we get with the other ships, because Krupp 2 versus Krupp 1, and hell, the Kaiser 1s are still using Harvey. So overall protection's better, even though the armor's thinner. We still have solid protection. We're adding on an extra 2 barrels onto the ship anyways. Now, this will, you know, when we start getting more of the weight savings and whatnot, it's going to become more apparent that this ship will, you know, eventually the refits will result in it receiving triple barrel turrets, because the other standard type Kaisers will get that as well. So, what to name this? Huh. I want to make it something special. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let us carry on. You know what? No. Let's do this. Let's do Kaiser 3. Yeah, fuck it. We'll just make it the Kaiser 3. Fuck it. I'm not even interested. Now, yes, you might be, you know, sitting there thinking like, hey, this thing's kind of lacking in the secondary department. It's not necessarily lacking. It's just, it doesn't look like it has a lot on it. It still has 20 5.5-inch barrels on this. And then, you know, of course, the 3.9s, you know, they're kind of just there because you can put them there. But, you know, the advantage is the extra battery. So we'll keep it as such. The Kaiser 3 is ready to be built. Now, let's look at our Destroyer 1 hull. So we've already figured out, yes, we can turn the large torpedo boat 2 into a competent design. But the Destroyer 1, what can we do with it? So let's go ahead, 1,100 tons. Let's see what we can do with him. All right, so let's go ahead, throw on some funnels. Do kind of like this setup. All right. Secondary tower. All right. Let's do it like this. And then we'll put barbette. Actually, don't even need that big of a barbette for this. 5-inch barrel, boom, there we go. Unfortunately, she's incredibly overweight. Oh, well, Okay, let's shave this speed down. Okay, there's the weight. Let's go ahead. Let's tech her out real quick. Now you might notice that I'm keeping things somewhat simple with the tech that I'm putting on these ships. And that's to just overall drive costs down and, you know, prevent me from having to shell out a metric fuck ton of money with each class. Because these ships can get quite expensive quite quickly. So these are going to be mine hunters. These are going to be specifically trying to protect the fleet. So... Alright, let's just make sure that the... 5.5. And then these things will be able to sit off with the cruisers and engage targets. Looking pretty snazzy. Now, is there a way that we could potentially make this thing even better? Nah, you know what? Screw it. She's weird. She's gonna be that weird bitch. She's that weird bitch that you're like, do I have to introduce her to my parents? Problem is range. Range is definitely a problem. So, what happens if we do something like this? There's not much to be done about the range, unfortunately. I think that's just something where I have to contend with, which I think should be fine, honestly speaking. Yeah, I think it's just something we have to contend with. So the V-63, lightly armed in the gun department, but she's got a decent gun to torpedo ratio here. You know, 4 tubes, 3 barrels. You know, she's got decent enough range that she's able to patrol out with the ships within the localized area. She ain't sailing across the fucking Pacific, but, you know, she at least can be built in service to the fleet. So, there is that. Now, I do want to do a price comparison here. Like, the Kaiser 3s versus the Kaiser 2s cost. Like, it's almost double. You know, the Kaiser 1, you know, the Kaiser 2 was, you know, technology-wise was a huge jump over the Kaiser 1, like, let's be frank. But the Kaiser 3, like, this thing is just horrendously expensive compared to the Kaiser 2. Horrendously expensive. And a much, much larger crew complement. Jesus Christ, look at that crew complement. Ugh. It's kind of painful, honestly speaking. To be totally real with you, that's a little bit on the painful side. All right, so in the case of these destroyers, we're gonna go ahead and let's queue up the first 10 of them, and these guys will be going into the Baltic to support the Kaiser 2s, and then we'll slowly send them out to the other places they need to go. So, Plow and Danzig. Where is Danzig? Did I completely freaking gloss over it? Yes, I did. There we go. Boom. Alright, and that will begin the construction of our actual fleet destroyers. Now, in the case of our torpedo boats, these torpedo boats, At this juncture, I'm going to end up getting rid of them to make way for actual destroyers, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be pre-positioning destroyer squadrons in each of these other areas in order to support our trade, our merchant marine words. I swear I can speak. But we'll be pre-positioning them to support the merchant marine directly, and then go from there. And then in regards to some of these other classes, we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. We're just gonna clean up our roster a little bit. The Thetis classes, the last of them will be going bye-bye. Actually, let's go ahead and let's start cleaning up our registry now. So these guys can go ahead and get scrapped. The Thetis can go ahead and get scrapped. The Amazon class. We'll leave the Amazon class as is right now. I think they're perfectly fine as is. And then, yeah, I think. So right now our fleet, we have 28 ships building, 302 ships in the ocean, 192 of those being torpedo boats, which when we shift up into supplying destroyers to each of our regions, we'll probably end up providing like 3 to 5 destroyers per region, depending on the really important regions like the Baltic Sea, the North Sea, the Mediterranean as we take territory there, Western Africa, the West Indian Ocean, Oceania, North Oceania, Southeast Asia, the Philippines, East Asia, Sea of Japan. Like the really important zones will create a colonial cruiser design, and hell, we might even shift the Amazons into that role and eventually replace the Amazons with the Drane classes. Eridane. Okay, my bad. But we might actually shift it to where these ships get put into colonial port positions, simply because it's like, okay, your 4.7s for fleet actions, not great. For colonial patrol, good enough. So we'll probably actually end up doing that. Also, let's look. So we had 13,000 crew available. Holy crap. And all trained. Like, oh, that's delicious. All right, so fleet-wise, it's just a waiting game at this point in time. We have 12 months on the next 3 Kaiser 2s, and then we've got to build out these and the Lutzow classes. Yeah, and then we got our destroyers. I think, I'm liking where we're at. I am liking it. Kronstadt will be the next post that we put. Actually, you know what? I think Kronstadt would be a good place to put these guys. So let's go ahead and put them over there. Let's go ahead and put them in Kronstadt. Boom. Let's use that as the base for the Kaiser 1s. So Kaiser 1, Kaiser 1, Kaiser 1, and then Kaiser 2s will eventually get moved over into Kiel and Wilhelmshaven, and then we'll move them into Emden and Wilhelmshaven, and then Hamburg. Oh my god, these ports are so big. I have so much room for activities. Oh my lord, it's fucking glorious. And then we still have honestly speaking, I think putting a focus on small guns long enough to get, I think a focus on small guns to get to Mark 3 5-inch guns. Get it so we can actually do our refit on the Kaiser 1s and Kaiser 2s. Now, that will kind of leave the Kaiser 3s behind because they'll still have the Mark II 5-inch guns because I'm not going to refit them immediately. But they also have the extra fucking gun battery for the 13.5s, which, mind you, eventually all of these are going to get replaced with 14-inch guns as well. But I'm not replacing them until much later. Much, much later. Canada signed a special alliance and trade agreement with the German Empire. Oh my god. No, you don't get a Kaiser unless you're paying 100%. So we just allied with the Canadians. Now the Americans are like, shit, fuck, damn it, fuck. We actually have more tonnage in the water than they do, funny enough. And we are rolling them in GDP. Oh my god. I did not realize that. Oh, France, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, Lord. Alright, yeah, so let's continue kicking the Spanish. We need to get into a war with them, clean up Southeast Asia, clean up their... Oh, we could take northern Spain. Just clean this stuff up, get this all under our control. Might as well at this point in time. We can also poke China and potentially just kill them just out of spite and take Northeast China. Do we have the forces at our disposal to do it? Yes. Maybe? Maybe? Where are you guys? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're in Yokosuka. No. We do not quite have the forces to do that. But we could put another detachment out here pretty easily. Like, we could send the Black Sea Fleet out this way, no problem. There would be no questions asked. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. Is we'll send the Black Sea Fleet out here, clean up the Spanish, clean up the Chinese, knock those two players out. And at that point in time, it'd be down to the British, US, us, Italians, and French. Wow. We are kicking ass and taking names this game. Oh, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So yeah, we'll focus that. We're still rebuilding the Merchant Marine. And then, yeah. Let's make sure everybody is on limited. Yeah, so at this point in time, it's just finishing up with these building projects. That's all we're doing, is finishing up these building projects. Speaking of 14-inch guns, we just got the Mark 1s. We will not be using them until we get Mark 3 anyways. If you guys don't know this, basically once you have Mark 3 13.5s, you should wait until Mark 3 14-inch before you swap to 14-inch. And then at that point in time, you can use 14-inch until you unlock Mark 3 15-inch. And then you should unlock Mark 1 16-inch. If I remember correctly, it'll unlock Mark 1 16-inch, and then it will go back and start researching Mark 4 on all the others. So in a sense, you could, if you wanted to wait, you could continue using 13.5 until much later. But the Mark 3 14-inch and 15-inch guns that you have unlocked at that point in time are worth it. So your mileage will vary. So, and we're almost up to 200,000 fleet shipbuilding capacity, so we're doing good in that department. I think end of the year, so end of the decade, I should say, from 1908 to 1910, I think I'm going to go ahead and do a fleet building. Yeah, I'll do a shipyard expansion for those 2 years. 6,000 kilometer or 6,000 meter torpedo. Very nice. But yeah, let's just keep poking these two, see if we can get them wanting to fight us. Oh, I forgot to unsuspend this. Oops. And then we'll also have to design the mine layer too. No, Mexico, you're not getting a fucking what? You think you're getting a fucking Kaiser at that price? Like I have to build my own ships, bud. What do you think this is, a charity? Fucking get out of here, you nerds. Fucking walking up and being like, "Sir, spare a dollar." Alright. Let's go. Oh my god. I just it it didn't register in my brain before I clicked that. Holy shit, that's so expensive. Oh, that will put us up to 66,000 ton max size for ships. Honestly speaking, I don't think we'll be going past that. Like 1910 might be the last shipyard expansion we do, because there's just no reason to go any bigger. Like we'll never use anything bigger than that, because like there's a big problem. A lot of people might not realize this. Using the max displacement for some of these hulls is just asinine, and it's just completely not worth it. I do not recommend it whatsoever. Oh my god. You know what? Just because you keep asking, here, have it. And they want a Kaiser 3. Fuck. Shit. Fine. Fine. You guys get to have there will be singular battleships. Singular. Not multiple. Singular. Oh my lord. And that should put us below what we need, right? Now we can finish up. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll save the money. God damn it. They just kept asking for it. I was just like, fine, fuck it. I'll build you the fucking ships. Oh, and we can build out more destroyers. Very nice. Now that we actually have a competent destroyer class. Like this isn't a bad little destroyer class. Like it really isn't. So I'm not opposed to having this. Oh, I should have queued up 5 more, because we'll just do all of the other battleship groups. Alright, so need these guys to go to Kronstadt. Need you to go to Novosibirsk. And I need you to go to Vladivostok. There we go. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Thank you. Alright. Alright, we're almost done. rebuilding the Merchant Marine. I really wish that the Merchant Marine, you could expand the amount of the Merchant Marine that you actually have. Oh, we just unlocked semi-oil too. Yeah, Canada, I'll build you that. We just unlocked semi-oil, which is great for us. Like, that's actually really good for us. So, yeah, that will give us semi-oil. Which, if you guys are not aware of what semi-oil is, you know, I know not all of you guys are, you know, naval history nerds like I am. Semi-oil is basically they take coal and they will spray oil onto it to get it to light faster and burn hotter, which then creates more steam pressure. And it also lessens how much coal you have on the ship because you are storing both coal and oil, and it just overall lightens how much fuel you have on the ship. And then, of course, full oil-fired burners are the creme de la creme and allow you to completely negate the weight of fuel. Because, yeah, oil is a lot lighter than coal and more fuel efficient. Okay, so clearly trying to get the Spanish and the Chinese is going to be damn near fucking impossible. So I think we're going to have to fight the Americans, which isn't going to happen until after we start getting the fleets fully deployed. So we still have some time before we even do that, which is cool with me because it gives me time. So yeah, I think that's just how it's going to have to be. Let's go ahead and before we start building the loot cells again, oh my god, we still... Okay, can I get... Okay, so we can build half the Adranes. We'll be able to queue up everything else. So our goal is to finish what we're building right now first and foremost. Like, if we can do that, then we're in a pretty solid position. Danzig, the full complement of ships, probably, well, actually, let's do it. Let's see how much it actually is. So, boom, 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 boom. Mine layer 1. The full complement comes out to 138,000 tons. So that's pretty nice. And if we were to add in some heavy cruisers, that would be even better, which we might want to do. But I would rather wait until we have a more competent heavy cruiser class. Because while the Lutzow and the Bavaria, in my opinion, are good ships, I kind of want to just use them as light battleships right now. Whereas if I had a more modern heavy cruiser class, that'd be better. Because these are technically old hulls. And also, if this was 14,500 tons, it would be even better, in my opinion. So, we're going to wait until we at least get there. Anyways, guys, I think that is a good place for us to go ahead and call it. Finish up the fleet building, and then off to fight the Americans. It's going to be very interesting fighting the Americans. Is it going to go well? Are we going to win? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting as is. But we'll catch you in the next episode with that. I love you guys. Talk to you later.